mezzanine area, the maintenance area, on the ground floor, the pool equipment room, everything 1 through 6 is fed off this one line here, and it does not go through the booster pump.
Okay.
So if the pump is off or anything, nothing, this is not affected by it at all.
Right. And this is what gets tested by the city.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And comes into the pump here, comes out of the pump here. This will be your bypass, which the only time you would ever really use this is if the pump had to be taken out of service or anything. Basically, you just shut these valves off, open this valve up, and it would feed, and just, like I said, it would just bypass the system.
Okay.
And then it goes through your pump here, and this is what pumps it up to. City pressure gets you up to probably about the 11th floor. So this is what's taking care of you all the way, the rest of the way up. So Jim, if you want to.
Sure. All right, so we've got a triplex system, so it's got 3 pumps. These pumps are multi-stage, so they have multiple impellers in the bottom of them. Like he said, you've got water coming in right here from the city. We're going to go through these pumps. You have check valves and you have isolation valves on each pump, okay? Comes out, goes out, goes off to your building. This little device right here is called a transducer. You have one on this header and on the back header. So what's telling the control panel what the pressure, the suction pressure and the discharge pressure is. Very maintenance friendly pumps, there's really nothing for you to do, okay? Really all of what you're gonna ever have to deal with is gonna be in this control panel right here. So they're all operated with VFDs. The big maintenance thing for you is gonna be these filters. They're just little washable foam filters. They're here,
Okay.
and they're here.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can see
They
they
need
got
to be
dust
washed.
on them right now. They need to be washed. Those, if you don't clean those, you kill your VFDs. These are just your displays for your VFDs. They're stacked in there. They will overheat. They create heat. We're trying to get rid of the heat, okay?
Okay.
You have your disconnects. Pump 1, pump 2, pump 3. Those kill power going to your VFDs. This pump control disconnect kills power going to this. If you follow this, and it comes up, and it comes in the top, there's a distribution block right here. That distribution block is hot all the time unless you go find the breaker and turn it off, okay? Just because you have these off and you can open the door,
There's still power to it.
there's still power to it. Please do not stick
Yeah.
your fingers across it. It doesn't feel good. All right, so currently, one pump, all your pumps are in auto. Pump 2 is running. You can see it says 67%.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put pump 1 in hand, all you do is touch that, okay? And see, now take off to 55 because over here the manual speed is 55. If you wanted to make that 67, you just clear it out. 67, okay?
What do you recommend? Leaving it in auto?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Please leave them all in auto. There's really no reason for manual
Okay.
unless you've got something weird going on. My name, number right here. Call me if you've got something weird going on. We'll figure out what's going on, and then I can walk you through, you know, what we
Sure.
need to do as far as why it needs to be put in manual or whatever.
Okay.
Suction pressure. That's that transducer
Right.
down there that we were talking about.
Okay.
So you have 67 pounds coming in.
Basically just your city water pressure.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
System pressure is what your building is seeing right on the back side back here, 144, okay? So if you walk in, the screen's blank, just reach up and touch it, it's just asleep. If you're ever at this menu, all you have to do is hit main screen.
Take you back to that.
Takes you back to this. This tells you everything that's going on right now. If you come in and it's an alarm, you have, it'll be blinking red or whatever. You'll be on a different screen than this. So, but you'll look like this, okay? This little horn will be screaming. First thing I'm ever going to ask you to do is just please silence it. It's terribly annoying loud.
Gotcha.
So hit silence,
Good.
and then we're going to figure out what's going on. So all you have to do is hit alarm reset if you're in alarm. but don't hit it first, like, unless you know what's going on, because
Yeah.
we want to see what's happening before you actually reset.
Just shut the alarm off and then
Silence it,
yeah.
and then let's figure out what's going on. So, your passcode is going to be we're clear 4034, and it's easy to remember because if you look on this tag right here, it's their address.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
All I'm wanting to do on this page is show you what your alarm settings are. So like if the system transducer, all these pumps were on and you couldn't make 100 pounds, let's say a pipe broke, and it lasts for 5 seconds, this thing's gonna shut itself off.
Quit pumping water.
Yeah, I mean, we want it to stop. Now the city pressure's still gonna pump through it, but
Yeah.
for some reason, if these pumps took off and they made more than 170 pounds, we're gonna turn off. We're gonna go into alarm and it's a manual reset, okay?
Okay.
If the suction pressure, where we saw 67 a minute ago, if it gets below 20 for 15 seconds, again, we're gonna shut off. This is all to protect your
Fail
equipment
safe, yeah.
and your building.
Okay. Yeah.
High suction econo is something that I don't always enable. We can. What that means is if the city were to give you 140 pounds, the booster shuts off because you don't need the booster anymore. Probably never going to be the case for you.
Yeah.
And it's not the case for a lot of boosters, because if you need a booster, most of the time it doesn't work, but they do have that feature. It's cool to have, I guess.
Yeah.
You can always look at pump run times. This tells you how long each pump is run.
Is there a certain service that they need at a certain
Not
hour?
this style pump.
Okay.
Other style pumps that are used on boosters, some of them do.
Okay.
Really, super maintenance friendly pump. There's nothing for you to do over there.
Okay.
So
basically, I would just so far just check these little filters
That's
and,
it.
and leave it alone.
yeah,
And does this alert me? Like, can I download an app and it'll tell me, or is
No,
this
sir.
something I just gotta walk by and
yeah,
hear?
you just got to come
Okay.
out.
It is loud.
You'll find out, because as soon as this goes down,
Yeah.
somebody above the 6th floor is going to go, I don't have water. Or
Okay.
above the 11th floor is going to go, I don't have water.
Okay. And then I'll call you. We'll diagnose it
Yep.
over the phone. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
There's a lot of other menus and stuff in here that I don't go over for
That's
owner
fine.
training. There's really no reason, okay?
Right.
But there's configuration pages and speed control pages that we don't need. I mean, you have no reason to change as long as it's working.
Yeah.
Now, if you call me and something's different, something's not working,
We can walk through it.
I'll walk you through getting into those pages. But honestly, as long as these are on, these are lit up, and you can get to this screen, and you're not screaming, you should have water.
Sounds good to me.
If we do ever have to shut a pump off, like let's just say you got a bad motor, all we're simply going to do is put it off here, respective pump disconnect off.
Okay.
The reason they do this is so that they're not all controlled on one disconnect.
Right. Right.
Pump VFD3, it takes about 45 seconds probably to discharge the capacitors before it actually turns off,
Okay.
just like any other VFD there is. Once this goes down, just say this is down, well, you can still operate.
Yeah, you still pump them
Right.
the other two. Yeah.
Correct. So you're in alarm because you've lost DC bus power. This will shut down in just a second. This gives you the ability for service. You can lock this out. You can pull that pump. It's got isolation valves.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You can have your pump repaired.
Okay.
Simply, once it gets fixed again, you turn it back on. We allow the VFD to power up. Once this is stable, it looks just like these. You just reach over and touch auto.
Okay. Yeah. That's simple enough.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Just got to keep
Basically-
the filters clean.
Basically, leave it alone. Yeah, keep the
Yep.
filter thing. Or is this something I need to do now? Are you gonna take care of this?
Is that something you can do, or?
Clean them out.
Yeah,
Just
Okay.
yeah,
And
clean
then
them
I'll
out.
take it over from.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
no problem.
Yeah, they're simply just wash them off,
Yeah.
and I mean they're just